Whenever it comes to politics, if I ever weigh in, or if you just kind of say, here's a thing to keep in mind, a lot of times people will say, hey, Father, stay in your lane. Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is a Sense Presents. A man asked me the question. He said, Father, is there any hope for unity in our country? And I would say that yes. The answer is yes. I'm going to be hopeful. Not even just hopeful. I'm going to be optimistic, but I'm going to root that optimism in something bigger than just my wish, or something bigger than just my kind of like cross your fingers and hope that we're unified. Because I think when it comes to a lot of politics, we're not unified, right? And it comes to a lot of policy issues, we're not unified. That's okay. That's okay, provided that we're unified when it comes to the principles. So for example, as you know, if you're in the United States of America, it was founded upon a set of beliefs. So the United States of America is not the United States of America because there's any particular ethnicity or any race or any kind of even religion or background, socioeconomic situation. How the United States was formed was it was an idea. And the idea was a series of principles that, we profess these things. For example, the very first words of the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal and are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights. So that is part of the creed, right? That is part of the principles that unite us. If we hold to even that one principle, we will be unified. Even when it comes to different politics or policies, if we can hold to this one principle that all human beings are created equal and are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights, if we can hold on to that, then yes, we will remain the United States of America. In fact, this is even what Catholic social teaching is based off of. I found this so fascinating when I first discovered this. It was in a book written by a man named Dr. Peter Kraft, who is just one of my philosophical heroes, one of my Christian heroes, just an incredible man of intellect, and also incredible man of God, where he was talking about the 10 Commandments, in particular, not just the 10, but Commandments 4 through 10. If you probably know this, Commandments 1 through 3 have to do directly with God. So have no other gods before the Lord God, to not take the name of the Lord God in vain, to keep holy the Sabbath. The Commandments 4 through 10 are about our relationships with each other. And what he pointed out that those Commandments 4 through 10 are based off of, you might say, a single principle. I mean, there's multiple principles at work, but there's a single principle, and that principle is the dignity of the human person, which is actually encapsulated in the writings of our founding fathers, the United States of America, that all men are created equal and are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights. Inalienable rights. I can't say the words, but here's this reality that morality, human morality, is based off of this principle of the dignity of the human person. That's the principle. So now how we apply that principle when it comes to, how do we apply that principle when it comes to people who are in need? Okay, well, let's have that principle and try to find a policy that actually upholds human dignity without violating someone else's human dignity. When it comes to those who are strangers, or those who are foreigners, how do we uphold this principle that all human beings have dignity given to them by God while also not violating someone else's human dignity, right? So this recognition of the politics or the policies, we can differ on those things because we can say, let's weigh competing goods. Let's really wrestle with this kind of situation. Let's wrestle with how do we apply this principle in any given situation. But if we unite on the principle, then even if we really, really disagree on the policy, if we really, really disagree on the politics, we're still one. We still have hope. Because if we can still say at the end of the day, how about this? We can still say this at the beginning, the middle, and at the end of the day, that we do actually hold these truths, that all humanity, all human beings are created equal and are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights, then we can disagree, but we can still agree, right? We can disagree on the politics, we can disagree on the policies, because we're agreed about the principles. And that's my prayer, my invitation for all of us to recognize that, again, whenever we go into any election cycle, whenever we go into any new change, this opportunity for us to, again, participate in civil society, we have this opportunity to weigh in, to actually say, let's evaluate politics, let's evaluate policies, but let's evaluate them against our common principles. And this is what everyone else needs to know, is I need to know, first of all, what are the common principles? What are the things that actually were written, even with amendments and stuff, but were written to enshrine these things that have united at least the people living in the United States for the last 200 plus years? How do we actually apply those? There's a lot of opinions, and there's a lot of policies, a lot of politics, and we can seem like we're at each other's throat. Absolutely. I mean, I just turn on the news. But if we could say, even these handful of principles are the principles that we agree on, then we can fight each other. I mean, verbally, right? We can fight each other politically. But at the end of the day, we'll still be brothers and sisters. What did Abraham Lincoln say? I think I'm going to paraphrase this, but I believe he said something along the lines of this, that, okay, here's this civil war happening where citizens are killing other citizens, brother killing brother, that after the war, we're going to go back to being brothers. After the war, we're going back to being sisters. How do you do that? How do you lay down your arms and say, okay, once again, we're united? You can't. You can't if all there is politics. You can't if all there is policy. But you absolutely can if we remember there's more important things in politics. There are more important things than policies. There are the principles that created this nation. And the principles that created this nation, here's the thing, here's the kicker. The principles that created this nation, even though the founding fathers weren't all Christian, they got their ideals. In fact, they got their principles in large part, maybe not exclusively, but they got their principles and their ideals in large part from the Christian faith. For example, this is again the last thing, but keep this in mind. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. That's not self-evident. I mean, that's the last thing that is self-evident. I mean, look around this world. There are some people, I've said this so many times, there's some people who are smarter than others. Some people who are more powerful than others, stronger than others, faster than others, nicer than others. Some people just seem to be better at being human than other people. And yet, we realize that while others have different levels of skill, levels of again, intelligence, levels of influence, if we are endowed by our Creator with this one gift that government, that other people, that no one can give us, and that one gift is you and I, and every person every human being you've ever met is made in God's image and likeness, then that is the fundamental principle. That's the fundamental principle for all government. That's the fundamental principle for all morality. And that's the fundamental principle that has united this country for 200 years. And if we want to stay united, that's the fundamental principle that we need to cling to. Yes, politics divide, policies divide, but principles to bring us back together. I know I'm making it sound so simple. It might be simple. It's not simplistic, but at least it's worth striving for. Because at one point in our country, it was possible. And I think it still can be. Anyways, from all of us here at Ascension Presents, my name's Father Mike. God bless.